Developing at this hour, Israeli forces have positioned themselves along Gaza's border ahead of an expected imminent offensive. Nearly 2,700 Palestinians have died, according to the Gaza Health Ministry. Israel says the death toll is now 1,400 there, and 30 Americans are confirmed dead. All this as aid groups say the conditions in Gaza have deteriorated into a complete catastrophe.
With Israeli troops poised for a ground invasion, Gaza is edging closer to a humanitarian disaster. On Sunday, Israel announced it was resuming water supplies to southern Gaza after shutting down water to the entire territory earlier this week. The United Nations said fuel reserves at Gaza's besieged hospitals are expected to last about another day. In an interview, President Biden told 60 Minutes' Scott Pelley he does not foresee U.S. troops being called in to help Israel.
I don't think that's necessary. Israel has one of the finest fighting forces in the country.
President Biden is considering a trip to Israel in the coming days, according to sources with the Associated Press. The president has stood strongly behind Israel since Hamas attacked last Saturday. But on Sunday, he warned against a new occupation of Gaza.
Do you support Israeli occupation of Gaza at this point?
I think it'd be a big mistake. Look, what happened in Gaza, in my view, is Hamas and the extreme elements of Hamas don't represent all the Palestinian people.
After meetings with Arab leaders in 6 nations, Secretary of State Antony Blinken is returning to Israel.
Israel has the right, indeed it has the obligation, to defend itself against these attacks from Hamas and to try to do what it can to make sure that this never happens again.
Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer led a congressional delegation on a trip to Israel to show their support. At one point, lawmakers were rushed into a bunker amid rocket fire.
We were having lunch at our hotel, and the sirens went off. Hamas had sent rockets towards Tel Aviv, and we all rushed into a shelter and had to stay there until the coast was clear.
Hundreds of thousands of civilians are desperately trying to flee Gaza after Israel ordered them to evacuate amid airstrikes. Israel's military said 155 people are being held hostage by Hamas after it waged a gruesome terror attack on the Jewish state. Shira Albag's 18-year-old daughter Liri is believed to be among the hostages.
I'm a mother, and I want my daughter home now. I want my daughter to sleep in her bed now.
Secretary of State Antony Blinken says a gate between Gaza and Egypt would reopen to humanitarian aid as early as tomorrow.